Henri Tajfel, the man who changed how we see identity and prejudice, and reshaped the field of social psychology forever. Henri Tajfel was born Hers Morcha Tajfel on June 22, 1919, in Włocławek, Poland, into a Jewish family. Growing up in interwar Poland wasn't easy for Jewish families. Anti-Semitism was widespread and Jews faced many restrictions, including quotas limiting their access to higher education. Despite these challenges, Tajfel was a bright student. He pursued his education with determination, eventually attending university in France. However, the rise of anti-Semitism in Europe during the 1930s made life increasingly difficult for Jewish students. As tensions escalated, many Jewish families, including Tajfel's, faced the harsh reality of displacement and persecution. Poland had just regained independence in 1918 after over a century of partitions, but the country was politically unstable and economically challenged. Ethnic tensions were high and Jews were often scapegoated for economic problems. These early experiences of discrimination and exclusion deeply influenced Tajfel's later work on prejudice, group identity, and intergroup relations. When World War II broke out, Tajfel volunteered for the French army. In 1940, he was captured by the Germans and became a prisoner of war. He faced a terrifying choice: deny his Jewish identity or risk execution if discovered. Tajfel chose to be honest about who he was. During the war, Tajfel witnessed the horrors of discrimination and exclusion firsthand. Jewish families were torn apart, and anti-Semitic propaganda was rampant. Many Jews were forced into hiding, while others faced the brutal reality of concentration camps. Tajfel's experiences during this time deeply influenced his later work on identity and prejudice. After the war, he dedicated himself to understanding the roots of discrimination and the importance of social identity in shaping human behavior. After the war, Tajfel worked with humanitarian organizations like the Œuvre de Secours aux Enfants and the United Nations International Refugee Organization. He helped resettle Jewish orphans and survivors, an experience he later called one of the most meaningful of his life. The post-war years were a turning point for Tajfel. Witnessing the horrors of the Holocaust and working with displaced children inspired him to study the roots of prejudice and discrimination. His time in prisoner of war camps and his humanitarian work further deepened his commitment to understanding human behavior and social identity. Tajfel graduated with a first-class honors in 1954 and began teaching and researching social judgment and the cognitive processes behind prejudice. His personal experiences deeply informed his academic work, blending theory with a passion for social justice. His early academic career was marked by hard work and important collaborations. While studying part-time, he worked as a shipping clerk and teacher. After graduating, he became a research assistant at Durham University, where he studied perceptual judgment and how social contexts influence perception. After World War II, Tajfel's experiences as a prisoner of war deeply influenced his academic interests. He shifted his focus to psychology, driven by a desire to understand the roots of prejudice and social identity. This period marked a significant transition in his career, laying the groundwork for his later groundbreaking work in social psychology. Tajfel's research showed how simple categorization could distort perception, a concept called perceptual accentuation. For example, people exaggerate differences between groups even when those groups are arbitrarily assigned. This insight foreshadowed his later work on social categorization and prejudice. By the late 1960s, Tajfel was addressing broader social issues like nationalism and stereotypes. He argued that prejudice wasn't just about individual personality flaws, but stemmed from normal cognitive processes. Tajfel's academic career began in the early 1950s in the UK. He held positions at the University of Oxford and later at the University of Bristol. During this time, he conducted pioneering research in social psychology. His work laid the foundation for understanding how group identities and intergroup relations shape human behavior. Between 1969 and 1982, Tajfel, along with his student John Turner, developed social identity theory, a groundbreaking framework that changed how psychologists understand group behavior. Tajfel showed that people favor their own group and discriminate against others even when group membership is random and meaningless. This challenged earlier ideas that conflict only arises from competition over resources. Tajfel's collaboration with Jerome Bruner led to the concept of perceptual accentuation. They demonstrated how people's perceptions are influenced by their social categories. This work further cemented the importance of social identity in understanding human behavior. Social identity theory introduced important ideas like the need for positive social identity, in-group favoritism, and strategies people use to cope with low group status, such as trying to improve their group standing or leaving the group altogether. During his lifetime, Tajfel's theory gained wide recognition and influenced research on prejudice, identity, and intergroup relations. Though some criticized it for focusing too much on cognitive processes and not enough on real-world conflicts, it remains a foundational theory in social psychology. However, after his death in 1982, allegations of sexual harassment toward female colleagues surfaced, leading to a re-evaluation of his personal legacy. Despite this, his academic contributions remain highly influential. Tajfel passed away on May 3, 1982, after battling cancer. His work continues to shape psychology, sociology, and related fields, providing a powerful framework for understanding prejudice, identity, and group dynamics. During the late 1960s and early 70s, Tajfel developed the groundbreaking social identity theory. This theory revolutionized our understanding of how individuals identify with groups and the impact of these identities on behavior. One of his most famous contributions was the minimal group paradigm, which demonstrated how easily people form in-groups and out-groups. These experiments showed that even arbitrary group distinctions could lead to prejudice and discrimination, highlighting the deep-rooted nature of group biases. His work remains one of the most cited in social psychology, helping us understand everything from nationalism to team dynamics. While some scholars critique the theory's simplicity, its core insights about identity and group behavior remain vital. Tajfel's legacy is complex but undeniable. His personal experiences of loss and survival fueled a career that transformed how we think about who we are and how we relate to others. His seminal paper introduced the key ideas of social identity theory, which revolutionized our understanding of group dynamics and identity. Henri Tajfel's later years were marked by both recognition and criticism. From 1979 to 1982, he continued to influence the field of social psychology. His work on social identity theory earned him numerous accolades, but it also sparked debates and further research. Despite the controversies, Tajfel's legacy endures, shaping our understanding of identity and prejudice to this day. Thanks for watching.